Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Foothill remembers and we will never forget. Find out where some of your staff were on one of the most terrifying days in American history. Also, one student joins us today to voice her opinion on a topic that's not very favorable among the students. Good morning and welcome to FST News. I'm Amanda Leake. Sunday marks 15 years since American lives were changed forever. At 8:46 in the morning in New York City, American Airlines Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center after it was hijacked by the Islamic terrorist group Al-Qaeda. Flight 175 followed shortly after, hitting the South Tower, and after an hour and 42 minutes, both towers came crashing down. The third flight, Flight 77, crashed into the Pentagon in Arlington County, Virginia, causing the western side of the building to collapse. And finally, the last plane, Flight 93, was hijacked on its assumed way to Washington, D.C. However, the passengers fought back and tried to overpower the hijackers, causing them to panic and crash the plane into a field in Stony Creek Township near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. 2,996 people lost their lives on September 11th. Over 6,000 were injured. Most students at Foothill weren't more than 3 years old at the time of these attacks, but the story is different for most of the staff. 7 staff members who have worked at Foothill since it opened in 1999 were still part of Foothill's Falcon family when America was under attack. These 7 include Principal Lisa Burkhead, who at the time was a teacher, and she can recall sitting with original Foothill Principal Bob Johnson in his office when the news came on the TV. No matter how long it's been since the attacks, we will never forget the fateful day of September 11th. And no matter how afraid threats may make us, or how broken a tragedy can make us feel, just like Foothill, America will stay as one. FST News General Manager Matt Mayhood was a student at Foothill on that day. He was in the FST newsroom watching the events unfold on the television with the rest of the broadcast, yearbook, journalism staffs, and speech and debate students in room 308. Which is now Science Teacher's Room, Krista Ortiz. Stick around after the break for an exclusive interview with a student who does not approve of her high school experience. We'll be right back.
Mind the road. Flash flood season is here.
Welcome back. Like making friends? Well, who doesn't? Anyone interested in joining the Best Buddies Club can stop by Miss Farr's room, room 244, or Miss Banser's room, room 248. If you are really good at trivia, then Varsity Quiz is definitely for you. Compete against other schools in trivia contests while representing Foothill. There's an informational meeting on Wednesday, September 14th at 1:30 in room 255. Didn't get a yearbook last year? No worries. There are still 16 more in stock. Bring $100 cash to room 741 to order one. All orders must be in by Friday the 16th. Have a taste for most things green? Then put your green thumb to the test and grow some flowers, food, and do some projects with plants. Garden Club meets every Wednesday in room 306 at 1:30 after school. Interested in the Bible but just never got around to reading it? Bible Club might just be for you. Bible Club meets Thursdays in room 306 at 1:30 after school. Another club that likes to give back to the community is Interact Club. Interact Club does a lot of community service and shows students how to take care of the people around them. They meet on Tuesday the 13th in room 733 after school. When we come back, catch an interview that many of you have been waiting for. We'll be right back. And welcome back. We are here with senior Monet Estridge. Thank you so much, Monet, for joining us.
No problem.
Monet is here because she does not agree with the policies on campus, and she's going to explain to us why. So, Monet, thank you for joining us. And starting off, what are your views on the tardy policy?
The tardy policy to me is a little too strict because after the first tardy, your dad has to, like your parents have to come sign you in. Like that makes no sense. And I'm a victim of the tardy policy already. And I was literally walking from the parking lot to my class and I just didn't get there in time. Like, I don't know.
What were your parents' thoughts on the tardy?
Honestly, like I feel like they're doing it to inconvenience our parents and which will make them mad at us and will make us want to come to class on time, I guess. But like, it's a thing called life. Like I just didn't walk fast enough to class, like whatever. But like my dad wasn't mad at me. He was mad at the school, so I don't care. Like
it was a little frustrating.
Yeah, it was frustrating for him because I drive his car, so I had to go home, like go back home to get my dad to come back here to drop him back at home to then start school. And the deans made me 30 minutes late to school.
Of course, understandable. And then what are your views on the phone policy?
The phone policy to me is like not even a big deal because like I don't feel an urge to touch my phone throughout the whole entire day. I'm only here for classes, so it doesn't bother me. Honestly, me not touching my phone, yeah, I'm like more like involved in class or whatever. Only problem that I have with it is that they say that we shouldn't be on our phone during educational purposes, but then once we're like the teacher's done, we're like, can we be on our phone? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, what are you teaching us? Like, why can't we be on our phone? Like, if we're listening to you, then I feel like we should get that like reward back after we've done our work. We should be able to be on our phone.
You feel it's beneficial?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, with the phones as well, the school district won't allow students to have their phones, even in cases of emergencies. The school trusts that they can deliver news of emergencies to you. Do you trust that they can do that?
No, because I feel like people have different like opinions of what an emergency is. And to me, like, I want my mom to be able to call me. Like I said, I share cars with my dad. He's at home all day with the baby. So if something was wrong at home, like with my baby brother or something, like he should be able to call me and I should be able to leave class, get in my car and go like handle my business because I have a life too. I don't want it to go through the school and then come to me because then they write a note and come like that. You just wasted like 5-10 minutes when I could have been at home and like took care of whatever was going on.
Of course, it's a little inconvenience.
Yeah, just like come to me.
Understandable. And then back to tardies. Now the tardies, since these rules have been applied, have gone down. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like a lot of people, because they have to get to class like on time, nobody wants their parents to sign them in. So yeah, it is like, I guess it is kind of like beneficial because the tardies do go down. People do get to class on time. But like I said, like there's a thing called life. Like things happen and then they know there's an issue with like us getting into the 700 halls. In my first class, the 700 hall. So yes, I was like late because I didn't get there on time, but I feel like it's kind of like both sides.
You see both sides of
Yeah.
that? Okay. Now, on Wednesday, Principal Burkhead hosted a workshop that allowed students to come with their questions and concerns and have them answered directly from her. Now, only 19 people showed up. However, there is evidence that at least 600 people disagree with these policies. Why do you think so few showed up?
Honestly, I feel like they just didn't show up because it wouldn't make a difference. That's how I feel, because they keep saying, come down to the deans if you have any questions or whatever. Like, I feel like no matter what, it's like, if I go down there and say something, are you gonna change it? No. Like, they hear our complaints. They're not changing anything. They just keep repeating the rules to us. Like, we hear your rules. So, like, yeah, 19 people showed up because, like, those people that showed up, whatever opinions they said, it probably didn't change anything. All they did was listen. They just host that workshop just to, like, make it seem like, I don't know.
A whole lot of listening.
Yeah, like, they're not going to do anything about it. So I wouldn't have showed up either.
I see. And then, what are your thoughts on this petition going around that has 600 signatures as of right now, and it's aiming to remove the policies? What is your thought on that petition? Did you sign it?
I did sign the petition because I seen it on Facebook and I was like, yeah, sure. But I don't really know how that actually works. Like, just because they got signatures, like, is she, like, liable to, like, change the rules? Like, I'm pretty sure the rules are the rules. I don't understand how that works. But I signed it just because I'm like, hey, if they change it, then I was a part of the change, whatever.
Be a part of the change.
Yeah, like, I don't really know how it works, but, I mean, if I signed it when it was only 120, so I didn't know that it was that many.
If it happens, it happens,
yeah.
All right?
And if not, then I've signed that petition before, like years ago, nothing actually happened, so.
All right, and final question before we go. Right now, there is plans to construct the 700 hallway doors to make them wider, and then in the back of the 700 building to tar over some of those rocks to make it easier for kids to exit outward. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't agree with it because I feel like, why are you spending money to, like, reconstruct the building when you can literally just, like, increase our passing periods? Like, we literally only need, like, that one day, like, when I got tardy, if I had 30 more seconds, I would have been in class on time. Like, I walked in right after the bell. So, like, why are you spending money when you can just increase our passing periods? That doesn't make sense to me.
Very understandable. So, Monet, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today, giving us your very helpful opinions. Thank you so much. We will see all of you next week on another newscast on FST News. See you later, Falcons.